Tommy. Tito. This is Rina San Jose. Hi.
Hi.
Sorry I'm late. I am too. I gotta rush. Will you be alright? Yeah, I'll be fine. Tommy. Your word as a last light. Thanks. So, this is awkward.
Is it? Why should it be?
Tommy didn't tell you?
No, tell me what?
That I've admired you for the longest time and I can't take my eyes off you. You are the most incredible girl I've ever seen. You're nothing like the others. I see you coming home from school every day and I can't take my eyes off you. Oh my God, I sound like a stalker. But I'm not a stalker. Oh my God, that's exactly what a stalker would say. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna shut up now.
That was original.
And stupid.
No, it was honest.
To a fault.
In my book, honesty is never a fault.
Hey, speaking of books. You ever read Don Quixote by Cervantes?
The Mad Knight?
Oh, everyone thinks he was a madman, charging at windmills, fighting sacks of wine. But he wasn't really. At least not in my book. He was an idealist. And in his eyes, the windmills were ogres and the sacks of wine were, well, I don't remember what they were. But he fought them because he believed they were evil monsters and he wanted to do good. To make his world safe. To protect the downtrodden and speak up for the helpless. You can be a valiant knight and keep the windmills all at bay. But to really set the world aright, all you have to do is say, what if we explored all possibilities? What if we ignored our mental blocks? What if we just focused on abilities? What if we all thought outside the box? It would do us all some good. That is why we really should take a chance and say, what if? What if everyone aspired to some unreachable ideal? And what if all that we desired could somehow be made real?
I can change it all. We might be enough somehow. You and I can heed the call, starting here and now.
What if we could start again and make a world where people care?
It's a fantasy, but then we've got to start somewhere.
What if we attempted the implausible, found our comfort zones and stepped outside, pushed the very limits of the possible? What if we all really, really tried? It might seem a little strange till you felt things start to change. Take a risk and say, what if? What if she were truly mine? To let her go would drive me mad. What if I just crossed that line? Would it really be so bad? What if you tried something new and took a risk on one romance? Pure and innocent and true, and worth at least a chance.
I'm almost stuck adrift, wildly reeling, a little bit insane or nearly blind. What if I just can't resist this feeling? What if choosing makes me lose my mind?
I
think I'd lose myself this way.
Now here I am, and by my own admission, I can't wait to see how it will play. What if we just closed our eyes and took a chance? What if we ignored what's gone before? What if we just focused on this new romance? We might find some new things to explore.
Sometimes you just have to try. Never mind the reason why.
Take a leap right off the cliff.
Take a leap right off the cliff.
Take a chance and say what if.
Take a chance and say what if.
What if? What if?
Ladies and gentlemen, the cast of Rivalry the Musical, Athena TV, Fred Lowe, and Red Concepcion. And here with us this afternoon is the creator, the composer, and the musical director of Rivalry the Musical, Mr. Ed Gatchalian. Rivalry opens the music theater season of the CCP in January. Good afternoon, friends. I am Chris Miliado, the Artistic Director of the Cultural Center of the Philippines. Thank you for choosing to be here with us this afternoon and for going your ringside seats at the political rivalry that is going on at the Senate right now. We're very excited to share what's in store for 2014. But before that, let me share some developments that made us happy and inspired in 2013. CCP artists and shows excelled in the local and international art scene. Early in the year, our resident companies dominated the Field Stage Gawad Buhay Awards for the performing arts. Tanghalang Pilipinos musical about down-and-out denizens of the stage show era swept the awards in the musical theater category. Ballet Philippines, revival of Alice Reyes's and Ryan Cayabyab's version of the Asian classic Ramayana, won for its artistic team top awards in dance. Katie, which opened this year's music theater season at the CCP, garnered the top citations at the Aliw Entertainment Awards. The musical Katie at the CCP launched a spirited season of local music theater productions at the Cultural Center of the Philippines. There was a new ethnic rock musical on the Bicolano epic Daragang Magayon. Singer and composer Noel Cabangon set Dr. Luis Gatmaitan's storybook to music, and a new children's musical about a shoemaker and his wheelchair-bound daughter was born. Dancers and rock bands collaborated on an exhilarating dance theater on the life and loves of Andres Bonifacio as part of the celebration of the sesquicentenary of the national hero. Right now, I am standing on the set of a new musical which is running right now here at the Little Theater. This is a new musical by national artist Virgilio Almario with music by Josefino Chino Toledo entitled San Andres B. And the set designer is also here with us right now, Mr. Eric Cruz. Are you in the house? Eric designs and is responsible for a lot of our majestic sets, especially during our gala performances here at the CCP. The CCP also hosted the sing-throughs of the film-to-stage adaptation of Maxi the Musical, currently running at the PETA Theater Center. And just recently, we had another sing-through of another work in progress, again by the prolific Mr. Gatchalian, work in progress entitled February. The first, second, and third prizes of the Palanca Literary Awards one-act play category went to 3 plays developed at the Virgin Lab Fest. As most of you might already know, the Virgin Lab Fest is the annual play festival where playwrights, directors, and actors converge to flesh out unstaged, unpublished, and untyped and untried new works. the people responsible for programming this 2-week intensive festival are here with us. Clotti Dialogo Lucero, who is also heads the Dramatic Arts Division. Last year, we started a series of musical reviews that delighted audiences with its warmth and intimacy. Noni Buencamino, Odi Himora, and Menchu Lauchenko Yulo performed here at the Little Theater. Next year, we are featuring Michael Williams, together with a lady who is known for her work in both the local and international theater scene. She impressed international audiences in the West End production of the musical South Pacific with her portrayal of Bloody Mary. In the Manila production of Sound of Music, she was an unforgettable abbess who sang the iconic anthem that gave the lead character Maria much courage and inspiration. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Sheila Francisco.
Climb every mountain, search high and low, follow every byway, every path you know. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow till you find your dream, a dream that will be all the love you can give every day of your life, for as long as you live. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow till you find all the love you can give every day of your life, for as long as you live. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow till you
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Sheila Francisco. Sheila will be featured in solo concert in August in Triple Threats, Leading Men and Women in Philippine Musical Theater. Since the flooding caused by Typhoon Ondoy a few years ago, the CCP has anticipated the role of arts and culture in disaster relief and rehabilitation. Recently, we collected donations after every show, and we plan to continue to do so until early next year. So far, we have raised 150,000 pesos from just passing those donation boxes through all the shows that has happened this November and December. Through the Arts Education Department, we have developed modules on art therapy that aid in the rehabilitation process by focusing on trauma and stress debriefing among children and their guardians. Our team is still in Tacloban, making an assessment of the situation of school children and their teachers. And the team is headed by Ms. Eva Salvador, who is still in Tacloban right now, but the rest of the team are here still coordinating. Ms. Josie Guillen and Nico Zapata. They all form part of the team who work with teachers and counselors to come up with curriculum and bring these programs to the affected areas, especially school teachers who will help us in conducting these workshops. We will return to the affected areas with trauma experts and counselors. We'll work closely with our art and music experts for more substantial work. Furthermore, the CCP has strengthened its own disaster preparedness. As you might have realized, we sit in the most vulnerable part of the bay, on reclaimed land right in where storm surges might happen. The CCP has strengthened its own disaster preparedness and plan to develop modules using theater and improvisation, aiming to equip vulnerable communities with the same skills. CCP also recognizes the importance of education with regards to climate change. This will be the focus of Earth Day in April 2014. The festival director of next year's Earth Day celebration will be Ms. Tess Rances. Is she here in the house? Tess also heads our administrative department, and believe it or not, she deals with hardcore stuff like seawall repair, traffic rerouting, and security. We hope to make Earth Day celebration in 2014 as memorable as the one we did this year, when hundreds of artists created a human chain to defend the bay from further reclamation. Thanks to you, our friends in the media, the images of artists and cultural workers holding hands to protect the bay drove home the importance of defending the Manila Bay from further reclamation. Our homegrown festivals reached their maximum capacity, while some broke their own attendance records. The Pasinaya, our annual open house festival, considered the largest multi-arts festival in the country, reached its capacity crowd of 45,000 viewers. With more than 2,500 artists participating, it is time for us to open up the festival to accommodate increasing public interest and artist participation. So we have decided to expand the Pasinaya CCP Open House Festival to include venues in Malate, Ermita, and Intramuros, to be held now for 2 days instead of a single day in March 2014. And we need an army of stage managers, technicians, stagehands, ushers, and volunteers. And this is made possible by the production and exhibition team led by Ariel Yonzon and with the chiefs, Sar Tala. Are they in the house? With the help of Carlos Celdran and the City Tourism Office of Manila, we are now talking to galleries and museums to adopt the pay-what-you-can policy during the festival. We have entered into a partnership with the Philippine Tour Organizers Association, or PhilToa, to mobilize their art jeepneys to ferry audiences and artists around the Pasinaya circuit. The Pasinaya 2014 will be a 2-day open house festival involving establishments in Malate, Ermita, and Intramuros transforming that stretch of Rojas Boulevard into an art and culture mile. This move to make our festival citywide anticipates our country's hosting of the Asia-Pacific Economic Council Summit, or APEC, in 2015. We hope to sustain and further develop this capacity until we have restored to Manila its reputation as the hub of arts and culture in the country. The CCP is working closely with the city governments of Manila and Pasay, the Intramuros administration, and the Department of Tourism on this project. Cinemalaya, the Philippine Independent Film Festival, also surpassed the previous year's attendance records by reaching more than 80,000 viewers during the screenings at the CCP and Ayala Cinemas in Trinoma, Greenbelt, and Alabang. Cinemalaya films were invited to international festivals and garnered awards in some. And for its 10th year, Cinemalaya will be launching a coffee table book illustrating the history of the festival and adding more cinemas in the metropolitan area in 2014. Salvador Bernal designs the stage, a retrospective exhibit composed of scale models, costume pieces, construction plans, and sketches by the late national artist will go on national tour to more than 10 cities. And Chingay Bernardo, who is in the house, can you please stand, Chingay, so our friends in the can see you? And her team will make this possible. It's a bit of a production because they will be taking more than 20 scale models, lots of costumes, mannequins, lots of very valuable artifacts. So it's a major logistical effort. Art matters to the life of every Filipino. This is the vision of the CCP. For 2014, we focus on 3 efforts: become the center of music, theater performance, and production in the Asian region; intensify participation in poverty alleviation, the fight against corruption, disaster relief and rehabilitation through the arts; and stimulate the creative industry by consolidating the efforts of the performing arts sector. Our resident companies have prepared seasons that are equally exciting. The Bayanihan Folk Dance Company hosts the annual Fiesta Folkloriada, which will be going on here at the Little Theater in the main theater this December. The only international festival of folkloric music and dance that brings ensembles from all over the world on the same stage. Tanghalang Pilipino will be working on a new rap musical about thieves, big and small, entitled Kleptomaniacs. Nick Joaquin's Mga Anak will be directed by Joel Labangan. Arthur Miller's Pahimakas ng Isang Ahente, which is a translation of Orlando Tino of the classic Death of a Salesman, will be mounted for the next season, among others. And here with us today is the Associate Artistic Director of Tanghalang Pilipino, Mr. Tax Rotakio, who will also directed San Jose ng Zapatos, Ibalong, and will be directing Kleptomaniacs. The National Music Competition for Young Artists not only holds its annual competition here next year, but will also bring the Classical Champs. The Classical Champs is a concert that will bring the winners of the previous competition to perform, have a major concert. So instead of just having it at the CCP, we plan to bring it out to the regions as part of the exposure, especially of the teachers and the students whom they'd like to reach out to. So I believe the Executive Director of NAMSIA here is with us right now, Mr. Nato Lucas. Nato, are you here? Nato, as everyone might know, is one of our leading cellists. The Philippine Madrigal Singers will be doing a full-blown season. They just used to do 2 concerts at the main theater, which are always sold out. To my mind, they're the only chorale who can sell out the 2,000-seater main theater for their performances. So to accommodate all their fans, they now are going to do 5 concerts for next year. So please welcome Perlita Reyes, the company manager of the Philippine Madrigal Singers. Now, the Philippine Madrigal Singers is also celebrating their 50th year this year, and we'll be having a grand concert at the main theater on December 14 and 15, at which we'll be guesting Lani Misalucha, Ay de las Alas, the company, Dan's, Coke Bolipata, and many others. And they're looking at around more than 800 guests to be with them on the main stage. So please do not miss that show. The Philippine Ballet Theater mounts 3 full-length ballets, namely Carmen, Andres Bonifacio, and Mary Widow. The UST Symphony Orchestra, the training orchestra of the CCP, will have 2 concerts at the main theater. The Philippine Philharmonic Orchestra, aside from their concert series, launches new programs like PPO Concerts for Youth, featuring songs from anime and video games. We will bring the PPO to Makiling Mountain for a sunset concert in May 2014. This is the first time we're going to do it. The beautiful venue of Tanghala ni Maria Makiling commands a panoramic view of Laguna Lake and shoreline towns. Imagine this as the setting for an afternoon of pops and classical music. Ballet Philippines restages the classic ballet Giselle and celebrates also their 45th. It is also the 45th anniversary of Ballet Philippines. They were founded the same time the CCP was founded, with a gala show, which is going to be a reunion of sorts of artists who worked with the company. And we will also mount a collaboration with the PPO and the Madrigal Singers on a new production of The Messiah in December. They will also revive, as part of the commemoration, it is Apolinario Mabini's sesquicentenary next year. They will also revive the full-length ballet of Agnes Locsin, La Revolución Filipina, which tells the story of the triumvirate of the Philippine Revolution of Apolinario Mabini, Andres Bonifacio, and Emilio Aguinaldo.
Huwag nating kalimutan na tayo'y nasa unang baitang pa lamang ng kasaysayan ng ating bayan. Huwag nating kalimutan na kung hindi tayo magbabago, hindi tayo darakilain, hindi darating sa wastong gulang at mananatiling isang lahing mangmang.
The artistic director of Ballet Philippines, is he in the house, Paul? I guess he's rehearsing. They have Christmas Carol going on at the main stage this week. So please catch it. That's a new work by Miss Edna Vida, who's fresh from her full year of exposure in New York and did some work with American Ballet Theater. The conservatory program. We've organized our different master classes and workshops into what we call the conservatories. And what we are going to launch in 2014 is the New York Manila Musical Theater Workshop. 3 leading experts in musical theater performance from New York will coach mid-career performers in the art and technique of singing, acting, and dancing the musical. A 2-week intensive aimed at developing triple threats: musical theater performers who can sing, dance, and act. The teaching team is composed of Carmela Cinco, musical director and vocal coach, who has worked for theater, television, and film; and who is based in New York. Orlando Pabotoy, an OB award-winning actor and physical theater specialist who works with the Juilliard Drama Division and is now the head of the New York Tisch School of the Arts Physical Theater Division. And Albin Konopka. By the way, Orlando hails from Bohol and was very anxious to come back to his hometown after what happened a few months ago. And Albin Konopka, who has enjoyed a career as musical director for major Broadway productions and international productions. This workshop is made possible by a generous grant from the Asia Cultural Council. And if you want to know more about this workshop, this is coordinated by Ms. Menchi Mantari, who does a lot of our music programming here at the center. The Paris Manila Opera Conservatoire. This was postponed. This was supposed to be done this year. We're doing it definitely this year in cooperation with the Alliance Française and the Embassy of France. This brings together mid-career opera singers for intensive training with a French opera coach in, again, the art, singing, the technique of opera arias, and this will culminate with a light production, light version of Offenbach's La Vie Parisienne. The CCP Choral Institute. We are very excited about this. In 2014, we are launching the CCP Choral Institute, a program for training in the art of choral singing and conducting, mentored by members of the Philippine Madrigal Singers. The Philippine Madrigal Singers starts the first program with their Sing Philippines, where they're going to select leading choir members from all over the country and bringing them together to form a dream chorale made up of the best singers from their network of choirs. And this will be followed by a hands-on choral workshop, which will bring in beginning and intermediate conductors and choir members for an intensive on conducting and choral performance technique. Both workshops end with showcases at the main theater. This expands our existing conservatory program that includes the CCP Dance School and the Actors Company. Rivalry, the musical, an original Filipino musical about rivalries between friends, cousins, parents, and of course, between Ateneo and LaSalle basketball teams. Rivalry, the musical, comes fresh from awards garnered from Aliu as Best Musical Director, Mr. Ed Gatchalian, Best Stage Direction, Jaime Del Mundo, and from Broadway World as Best Music for an original Filipino musical. This is going to be a fourth wall theater company and starts its run here the first month of the year in January. Lorenzo, the musical, will have its CCP premiere at the Cultural Center of the Philippines. This new rock opera by Ryan Cayabyab in collaboration with writer Paul Dumol and director Nonon Padilla premieres at the CCP. Lorenzo is about an OFW awaiting execution in the Middle East who, while in prison, creates a theater production based on the life of the first Filipino saint, Lorenzo Ruiz. The production has original music by Ryan Cayabyab, book and lyrics by Paul Dumol and Christian Valles, production design by Gino Gonzalez, and direction by Nonon Padilla. I've mentioned Ryan Cayabyab's name quite a few times. I think it's almost calling for a Ryan Cayabyab festival next year. Noli Me Tangere, the concert. This very popular musical is once again composed and created by Ryan Cayabyab together with Bienvenido Lumbera. And the idea is to bring all the performers and singers who performed this wonderful musical on the same stage at a major concert with the Philippine Philharmonic Orchestra at the main theater next year. And of course, a much-awaited international touring production of Wicked will run at the CCP main theater from January to the first week of March.
Wicked is one of the most successful shows in theatre history and winner of 35 major awards, including a Grammy and 3 Tony Awards. After its success on Broadway, North America, London, Germany and Japan, Wicked is Broadway's biggest blockbuster. Wicked, the hottest ticket in town.
It's the story of the Wicked Witch of the West and how she came to become the Wicked Witch of the West, and of her relationship with the girl who became Glinda the Good.
The whole premise of Wicked is that you don't know what really happened in Oz. We're going to tell you the rest of the story, the part nobody ever told you before.
Why the Cowardly Lion is cowardly, where the slippers came from. There's so many things that are revealed through the story.
It shows you a totally different world.
The heart of Wicked is a story of two young girls. It's their journey of their friendship, and why the citizens of Oz decided to call one good and one wicked.
Wicked is based on a novel by Gregory Maguire, which is in turn based on Frank Baum's classic, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
The things our audiences will love will be the fantasy, the adventure, and its great heart.
It's the notion of examining the Oz story from the Wicked Witch's point of view.
She's this incredible girl who's green and doesn't fit in and is very, different.
There's been some confusion, for you see my roommate is unusually and exceedingly peculiar and altogether quite impossible to describe.
Blonde.
It's also the story of another girl who's born beautiful and popular.
Popular, I'll help you be popular. You'll hang with the right cohorts, you'll be good at sports. Know the slang you've got to know. So let's start, cause you've got an awfully long way to go.
And it's the unlikely relationship between these two girls. One whom we know as the Wicked Witch of the West, and the other whom we know as Glinda the Good, that forms the basis of the musical Wicked.
Glinda and Elphaba really became a beautiful friendship.
Coming from these different backgrounds, they find a very strong bond.
Long before Dorothy dropped in, two other girls meet in the land of Oz. One good and the other wicked. Wicked, the untold story of the Witches of Oz, the theatrical event of a lifetime. From January 22 at the CCP Main Theatre. Tickets on sale now. Call Ticket World at 891-9999 or visit ticketworld.com.ph. Presented in Manila by Smart Infinity and Visa. Wicked. Buy your tickets now.
That's Wicked, ladies and gentlemen. And here with us this afternoon is the Managing Director of Lunchbox Theatrical Productions Incorporated, our friend, Mr. Bob Sewell. Together with members of his marketing department, Sam Sewell and Ms. Tessa Guadarrama from Lunchbox Theatrical Productions. The Philippine season of Wicked is produced by Mark Platt, David Stone, Universal Pictures, the Araka Group, John B. Platt, and John Frost. It is presented by Lunchbox Theatrical Productions, David Atkins, Enterprises 105.9 Radio High, and Concertus in association with Wicked Worldwide. Wicked will donate the proceeds of one performance to the relief and rehabilitation of communities affected by the typhoon. The critically acclaimed production of Red by the Necessary Theater of Actors Incorporated will move over for a run at the Tanghalang Hussein Batute Studio Theater. Red, the production is represented here right now by its artistic director and one of the lead actors in the show, Mr. Bart Gingona. Red is about the abstract expressionist painter, Mark Rothko, who was commissioned for what might have been the equivalent of the Sistine Chapel Commission, to paint a series of murals for the cutting-edge Seagram building on Park Avenue. But after completing the works, he mysteriously decides to keep the paintings and returns every penny of the advance. Years later, the artist donates the works to the Tate Gallery in London, and on the very day it arrives at the gallery, he commits suicide. The play introduces a fictitious assistant who engages Rothko in arguments and conversations that ultimately make us understand why Rothko might decide to withdraw his work from the commission. Red is presented by Actors Necessary Theatre featuring Bart Dingona and Joaquin Valdez. The CCP festivals. This year, we are going to have 12 major festivals hosted by the Cultural Center of the Philippines. And one of them is the Wi-Fi Body Contemporary Dance Festival. Going on its 7th year, the Wi-Fi Body Festival gathers contemporary dance artists in a showcase, competition, and forums on new and innovative contemporary dance works. The festival is a magnet for interdisciplinary collaborations with artists of other disciplines, with dancers and choreographers of contemporary dance.
Hi, magandang hapon po. Ako nga po pala si Al Garcia po from the University of the Philippines. Maraming salamat po sa pagdalo sa pagtitipong ito. Ay, siya nga pa pala, gusto niyo po bang makarinig ng kwento? Okay. Yes? Kwento? Teka lang po. Teka lang po. Ay, para talaga. Okay. Isa pong babae ang tauhan natin sa kwentong ito. Kailangan ko po ng pangalan ng isang babae. Sarah. Pagandang pangalan ng Sarah. Sige, tara silipin natin yung kwento ni Sarah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Al Garcia, winner of the new choreographers competition of the Wi-Fi Body Contemporary Dance Competition and Festival in 2012. And here with us this afternoon is the founder and the festival director and artistic director of the Wi-Fi Body Contemporary Dance Festival, Ms. Myra Beltran. Wi-Fi will be held here at the CCP Tangalang Hussein Batute in July of 2014, and they will have an intense week of competitions, forums, workshops, and other activities around the area. Another new festival that we're introducing this coming year, is curiously entitled MNL XXX, or Triple X. Proponents of experimental theater, performance art, site-responsive work, devised theater, and other genre-breaking forms will be featured in a one-week festival at the Studio Theater and other found spaces in and around the center. And right now, we have the group here with us, or representatives of participating groups and individual artists. Let me call them. Our artistic director of Sipat Lawin, J.K. Aniconche. Artistic director of the Estero Theater Commune, Joshua So. Ian Madrigal of the Innovative Noise Collection. Sarah Salazar of Sipat Lawin. Bong Cabrera of Collab Company. And the artistic director of leading Transitopia Contemporary Dance, and also going to be the head of the curatorial team of the first Manila Experimental Theater Festival, Mr. Jay Cruz. The Pasinaya Open House Festival, the Cinemalaya Philippine Independent Film Festival, the Virgin Lab Fest, all these three festivals will be celebrating their 10th year next year. The Earth Day Festival, Nagawad CCP para sa alternatibong pelikula at video. For those of you who don't know this festival, it is a wonderful mini festival that happens at Dream Theater, which usually attracts more than 80 entries, and this is usually the nurturing ground for filmmakers who at some point join the Cinemalaya Independent Film Festival. Next year, we're also going to host the Orchestra and Symphonic Band Festival. This used to be two different festivals. We've decided to merge them, and you can imagine the scale of this festival, having ensembles composed of more than 30 or even 50 members each. The Next Generation Arts Festival is a new festival. We're featuring a week-long showcases of various performances, exhibits that cater to children, youth, and their families. Fiesta Folkloriada, and this year we did the Flutopia Festival, which was very successful, so we're going to do it again next year. It's a celebration of the flute through showcases, a trade fair, and workshops. Sing Philippines Choral Festival, the Mabini Sesquicentenary, and we are happy to host once again the Cuerdas ng Pagkakaisa, the Philippine Rondalia Festival. Pedro Ognasta Jr. And yes, they traveled all the way from Lukban, Quezon to be with us this afternoon. They are part of a number of ensembles that will be performing at the Philippine Rondalia Festival during the February Arts Month. And a few months after that, we will also be hosting the National Rondalia Clinic, which will bring in at least 20 rondalias from all over the Philippines for Rondalia intensives here at the CCP. Now we move on to international guests and performers. We are cooperating with the British Council to bring two very exciting works from the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. And these are examples of devised works and solo monologue works. The one that you see here is David Bai's piece entitled The Price of Everything. The Price of Everything is a lecture monologue which asks the questions, how much is beauty worth? What will people pay for an air guitar in eBay? Can I have a glass of milk? These urgent questions and others are answered in The Price of Everything. A performance, lecture, stand-up, storytelling show about value. Daniel Bai's whistle-stop tour of bizarre facts and extraordinary stories is occasionally shambolic and often misguided, but always a joy to watch. Daniel trained at the Royal Shakespeare Company and the National Theatre. His works has been seen in more than 50 venues and festivals across UK, including the Edinburgh Fringe. This is presented in cooperation with the British Council and the Philippine Educational Theatre Association. Daniel will also be holding workshops. We will also be bringing in James Cousin. With his piece, There We Have Been. This is inspired by Haruki Murakami's novel, Norwegian Wood. After his best friend dies, the hero starts a relationship with a bereaved girlfriend. In Cousin's duet, the dancers are intimately entwined, but her focus is rarely on him. She reaches out into space, but would fall if he let her go. For the whole of this long duet, an intense relationship drama, the female dancer literally never touches the ground. Choreographer James Cousins is a rising star, winner of the first New Adventures Choreographer Award. Scottish Ballet performed his work as part of its international festival program, presented in cooperation with the British Council and the Philippine Educational Theatre Association. And we are still currently in negotiation with the other international cultural agencies and the embassies for our other international presentations. And there's quite a few pending titles from France and from Spain. We have started work on the Encyclopedia of Philippine Art, the most comprehensive and trustworthy source on Philippine art and culture. Top-notch experts from the academe, led by Dr. Nicanor Chongson, have started research and updating of the thousands of entries for the 12-volume encyclopedia. The Encyclopedia of Philippine Art will be released both in hard copy and digital form to make the resource available to users in the World Wide Web. So, that was Noni Bencamino, by the way, in a portion of his Triple Threats concert, The Leading Men and Women of Philippines Musical Theatre. For the CCP's 45th anniversary, we look back on 45 years of work in the presentation and production of the performing arts, visual, literary, and cinematic arts, outreach, training, and education. And one of the big projects in development is a digital timeline. We recognize the wealth of artistic and cultural content that need to be made available to all Filipinos and those interested in Philippine arts and culture. And for that, we tap the latest technologies for enhancing the experience, popularization, and the dissemination of art and culture, knowledge and information. These are just a few of the exciting arts and culture events for CCP's 45th anniversary year. We have supplied you a list of the activities, and in that list, I haven't mentioned the numerous exhibits that we're going to hold here at the CCP, as well as other outreach events and arts education events. Here with us is the curator of our visual arts and exhibitions, Ms. Boots Herrera. Boots is responsible for taking out of our dusty storeroom our valuable CCP collection, and she retakes this. And if you notice, we have different things going on around the walls. And we're also preparing something for our artists who use our corridors a lot. We are transforming the walls of the leading to the rehearsal halls into a memory lane of significant productions and artists who've worked at the CCP. How can you help advance arts and culture in the country? Be a champion for arts and culture. Tell as many people to support the arts, especially our legislators and policymakers. Encourage private patronage of the arts. The patronage of individuals and corporations help in ensuring that there are resources for artists to create exciting and engaging work. That, in turn, stimulates the creative life of the country. Arts and cultural events here at the Cultural Center of the Philippines in 2014 when we celebrate the 45th anniversary of our beloved center. And as the season of hope descends upon us, we would like to greet everyone Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, but at the same time, we remain thoughtful of our fellow Filipinos who continue to pick up their lives, rebuild their homes and their dreams in the communities affected by the typhoon. Thank you for listening. And once again, I'd like to call the artists who participated in today's event and later on call on all the producers, partners to join us in our all here on the stage. The cast of Rivalry. Garcia of the Wi-Fi Terror Dance, Wi-Fi Terror Dance Festival. Of course, the Lukban Payas Community Rondalia, with their conductor. And may I call on our partners, Ed, Bob, and the whole team, and our programmers from the CCP, Bart, Sipatlawin, the group from everyone who's here, the artistic directors and executive directors are here. So please join us on stage for a photo op.